Hello everyone, welcome back to my class. In today's lesson, we are going to learn about direct and indirect speech. By the end of the lesson, student going to create a presentation on reported speech, who asked what. So let's begin our lesson. Hello students, hope you all are doing well, and let's begin our lesson. As you all know that yesterday we learned about direct and indirect speech, and we learned about the definition, rule and examples, right? So great. What next? Before we go further, I would like to ask you a few questions about how well you remember about yesterday. So there are two types of speech to convey the message to another person. One is direct and one is indirect, right? So in the direct speech, we use the actual words of what someone has said in the quotation marks, right? And in the indirect speech, we change the verb and the tense into another, okay? So that called reported speech. Great. So as we discussed yesterday, now you need to tell me about how would you say I when you're going to describe from direct speech to indirect speech. Yes? Yes, he or she. He or she. Good. How do we say say? It's a very common, yes, said. And how about here? There. Yes. Today, that day. Will convert into that day. And how about yesterday? Yes, the previous day. Tomorrow? Yes, the next day. This, that. Now, how do we say now? Then. Yep. Am, was. There, those. Yes. So, these are very common and most used word in the indirect speech, and you're going to use it, right? So good to know that you have remembered all that. Great. So how do we use to make a sentence direct? If you're going to report someone just said in the direct speech, how would you say it? Let me give you a few examples. For example, if I say to you, I work in bank, okay? So if you're going to report to someone else what I said, for example, in direct speech, so you're going to say, she said that she works in bank, right? So you use the actual words, what I said, to explain the someone in the direct speech. You didn't change any verb or tense, right? And how would you describe when you're going to use indirect speech to explain it? You're going to say, she said she worked in bank, right? So the simple present tense will change into simple past, right? So we are going to talk about only one tense today. Otherwise you will get so confused if I give you the all activity today. So okay, great. So how could you say that I go to school? Yes, you will say he said that he went to the school, right? So the goes convert into went, right? So we simply change the tense from present to past, right? Great. And let me ask you a few questions. What do you do every day? What do you, for suppose you play, what you play? You play football, okay. So how will you say that you play football in the simple present tense? You can say in direct speech, yes, I play football. Great answer. And how you gonna change it to another sentence in indirect speech? Yes, he said he played football. Very good. Great. So shall I rub it? Okay, let's do some practice how to convert direct speech into the indirect sentences, right? Let's start it. So my first question is, I want to meet your parents, right? So if teacher said these words to you, and how would you report to your parents into the indirect speech? Yes, you will say, for example, Miss Gill said that, I have added that, she wanted to meet my parents, right? Great. And let's try the second one. Why don't you go today? How would you change into the indirect speech? Yes, she asked that. How you can use you? Yes, you can use he, she. Great. So we can say she asked. Why we say she asked? Because this is question mark, right? So we said she asked that why he did not go that day, right? Great. So the third sentence is, are you busy tonight? How you can make the indirect sentence? He asked that if I was busy tonight, right? Great. So here is the indirect speech sentence, and you're going to change it to the direct, right? So how would you say, I was very busy then? And you're going to change the past tense into the simple present, right? So you would say, I am very busy then, will be changed into now. Correct? Great. And how would you say into the direct speech, I liked that song? It's very simple. You say, I like this song. So the verb has changed that into this, right? So the verb has changed here, then, now. Okay, so far so clear? Great. So okay, open your laptop and I'm going to do you some sentences to do some exercise, and you're going to convert the sentences into the direct speech and some indirect to the direct speech, right? So the more and more you practice, the more you gain.